Hey guys. So I have a couple downloads that I got today and I totally want to share them with you because I love them. And, anything that I channel in from source, a lot of times other people can relate to it too. So it's like super important for me to share whenever I feel inspired to do so. So I got three really great downloads this morning and here they are. I'm just going to read them off. I've been doing that lately, just connecting and doing automatic writing and stuff, and I love to see how it comes through my human perspective at the same time. It's like source coming through me, through my perspective. And sometimes you'll write something down and like you see how it came through your like personality and everything, and it's like you always think about like a guru wants to speak in a certain way and be so by the book, and it's just like, is that even the most authentic like place to come from? Like being totally yourself but allowing God to be God through you. And that's what we all are. We're just an aspect of God experiencing itself through us. So anyways, that's how it's been delivered to me, and I love giving it to you guys that way because I think it's more digestible too. Like we don't want to overcomplicate the language, so then something that could be really simple becomes really confusing because we're trying to speak all like scientific specific like textbook, you know what I mean? All right, so here it goes. I'm going to read them off. Here's the first one. We could be listening to the same song and I would live a totally different experience of bliss through that song than a person that vibrates at a more dense frequency. It feels uncomfortable saying it this way because of the programming. Like we'll be perceived in a different way than what was organically intended. There are no hierarchies. We are all the same, yet experiencing God's source from a unique perspective that gives the illusion of separation. When I say that a person vibrates at a more dense frequency, I'm also referring to myself from a different, unique perspective. You see all of the paradoxes for what they are: fact, yet contradictory, yet utterly infinite perfection. The ultimate expansion, source consciousness. So I really like that one. Okay, here's the second one. You know how you can talk or think to yourself? We do it all the time. When you're feeling good inside of your body and are having those interactions and conversations, that is when you are connected to source. The more busy, active, hectic your day is, the more you are likely to be disconnected from source. You are vibrating at a lower frequency and receiving information from what some call the ego. If you are awake and high vibe being, you will still oscillate between frequencies. If we are always very high frequency, we wouldn't be able to stay grounded in our 3D bodies. Remember those cartoons as a kid when there was a little angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other? This is no mistake and has spiritual meaning. Mastering these concepts and integrating them into your life is how you raise your frequency and embody peace, joy, love, etc. All right, and this is the last one. This was my favorite one, saving the best for last. Sometimes I get stuff like when I'm interacting with my kids, like I always ask Spirit, like, if you have anything to help me be a better mom and just like really show up for my kids the way they need to be shown up for, because it's so hard as parents. Like the way that we do it in our culture is not it. It's not it. So we can like take little bits and pieces that we learned from our parents that were really beneficial, but then also try to figure out what's best for you as a parent with your child. And let me tell you, having 4 kids, they're all very different. It's so funny. Like if you have a lot of kids and you notice their different personalities, yet they were all raised in the same environment, you start to realize how our souls are so unique and we lived all these different lives and we come into this life and with an intention and a personality and all these things, and you can really see that through children. And so I always ask source, for anything that could help me be a better mom. And I got an awesome download today and I want to share it with you guys. Even if you're not a parent, like listen to this, because it doesn't matter if it's your child. Interacting with any child is like coming down, or I hate to say coming down to their level, because really we're raising our frequency to be at a child's level, because they come in so high vibe and then they're programmed into low dense frequencies. So really it doesn't matter if you're a parent or just interacting with any child, if you can really connect with them, it's so fueling to your soul, and theirs too, because most adults are just so insanely programmed that they can't even go there. They can't even get there with a kid. So anyways, here it is. Involve your children in the mundane things you do. They can just be next to you talking about anything, whether it's what you're doing or about life. Just talk. It doesn't matter who is doing the chore or the mundane task. You sit and show your child how to find that happy place within the mundane. Just being with yourself in a safe, beautiful space. Look at your children like they have something to teach you. Converse with them like you respect what they have to say. Have a humorous, loving, understanding heart. You're showing them how to raise their frequency, how to be. Be in all capital letters. But yeah, I really love that, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And there's so much tension and fear going on right now. So like when I get these really like uplifting downloads, I would love to share them with you. And I hope you enjoy it. If you're following me on Instagram, make sure that you hit the notifications under where it says following, the drop down bar. It'll say show notifications, because if you don't, you probably won't see. Very few percentage, I think like 15% of my audience actually gets my posts come up on their feed and their stories, because I'm shadow banned on there for sharing the truth about things that are going on in the world right now, which I don't care. Like, I don't care. I'm not going anywhere, and no one scares me out of sharing what I feel is truth, what's true for me, what's true about the world, period. And that's why I come and talk about spirituality, because I'm out here to expose what is inverted about the world that we live in. Like, even to the point of, like, think about this. Like, I just want to share this with you guys. I was thinking about it the other day. Like, think about how old tribes and clans and like how humans first like organically came into these like positions that they lived in, these families, right? And just like animals, like some run in packs and stuff like that. So anyways, we all organically want to operate. Our bodies want to operate in a certain way. Women want to be in a certain way. Like back in the tribes, men would go hunt and they would want to provide in that way for their family. And they were built that way. That's why they were stronger, right? And what would the women do while they were gone? They would do whatever they had to do to help the whole family and the clan survive, right? So they're taking care of the children back at camp and keeping them safe and making sure that, they're gathering berries and making baskets so they have stuff to hold things in, and like all in water and all these things. And it's like, that is what the human naturally did, naturally, organically. And you look at culture and you see how they try to invert that. The whole feminine movement, we have to see it for what it is. And it's not that all women can do everything. Yes, and that's why they try to manipulate your emotions to try to make you think about something in a different way. But if you watch like a guy try to be a stay-at-home dad, or how men struggle because like our society sets people up for debt and failure, but you see like all they want to do so badly is just provide, and they feel like they're just in a system that lets them down. Like they don't even have the opportunity to do that because they're so disconnected to organically who they really are, because they're constantly told through TVs, through shows, movies, what have you, who to be, how to be, and all this stuff. And it's just people, and then you will get shamed if you want to like promote like the nuclear family. There's such a war on the nuclear family, but like there's so much value in it, and that's why we naturally gravitated towards that as human beings. And every creature is different and works in different ways, and they naturally fall into the way that is connected to nature and source and how they would naturally want to do things. And like our culture tries to invert those things. They're very low vibrational beings out there that are in power, that invert everything. They invert everything, and they really, really program people to think that they should go against their natural instincts. They really do, and it's sad, and it all has to do with reaching for things externally to feel fulfilled, because we've been brought up in this culture, in this society, to make us feel worthless, to be debt slaves, to go to school and compete instead of work together. Everything is a competition. I was a collegiate athlete. I get competition. I see the I don't even want to say benefit, because that still doesn't feel right. I see how it can push somebody to be better, but is it from a place of love and connection to source, or is it from a place of ego? And like, that's why I love like individual sports where it's just you against yourself, and you're showing yourself that you're not afraid to get out of your comfort zone and stuff like that. I'm going off on so many different tangents, guys, but everything is so connected. Like all this programming and stuff, it affects us in many different areas. And I didn't really get on a rant. I just wanted to, like, because I get super passionate, I just wanted to share those downloads. But it's so important to not just walk through life like a zombie and never even think. Like, if you're not thinking outside the box and you're not thinking about these things, like the mundane things that we do every day, I was just talking about how you can simplify them. But when you're in those spaces, that's when you can connect to source and have these thoughts that are your own. They're not programming. They're not the TV or a movie or of the latest trend trying to tell you who to be. You don't even know who you are because you're so disconnected from truth, your connection to source, which is where you find every single answer you could ever need. Literally, like, ask the universe anything and then really truly raise your vibration and connect to the universe, and those answers will come in one way or the other. I promise you, I have gone through this myself, and there's nothing that can convince you more than your own experience. That's why they say, like, faith is such an individual thing. It's such an individual thing. You can't just go and someone's like tells you all this information in, like, at church, or maybe a spiritual teacher online. They give you all this information and they give this information, but all that matters is that you have that experience for yourself. You actually implement the things that you learn into your own life. You realize that not everything everyone says is going to be your truth, because you don't fit into a box. There is no one size fits all spiritual awakening pill that you can take. There is no, I'm going to have a crazy awakening, or I'm going to have a slow, gradual awakening. Everybody is so different. And the best way you can start to understand your unique path is to start having those conversations with yourself. And then when you feel good, trust what you're hearing. If you're feeling shitty, then you're probably an ego. Don't trust that. Just observe it. But really, once you connect and you're in a space where you feel good, the first thing is figuring out how you can feel good so you can have these thoughts come that you can actually trust. So you have to, like, let go of things externally and start figuring out what you want to do. Following the breadcrumbs that spirit sends you, you know? Gosh, I go off on such a tangent. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed those downloads. Oh, back to, if you can follow me on YouTube or Instagram or Telegram, and my Telegram information is below my YouTube video. It's also on my Instagram. That's where I put most of my truther stuff, because they don't like when I talk about political things and all that crap. So, yeah, I have to put them on Telegram or they'll get, well, I'm already shadow banned, but I don't want to be completely cut off on here, so I can still connect to people about spiritual things, which is what I'd rather talk about anyways. I'd rather just leave that whole thing to the universe and focus on my own vibration, so I can help the collective. And I feel like the best thing I can do right now is ground these energies, ground these super high energies that are coming in right now for people who are really going through it, because I know that's what's going on. Like, there's no way people aren't going through it right now. Like, the energies are insane. Like, the Schumann resonance hasn't stopped. It's like, ever since the beginning of the year, it's just been spikes or missing information. It's not even there. Like, it's insane, guys. So, like, the best thing you can do is take care of yourself. Because if your cup isn't full, you can't feed others. So don't just deplete yourself and give, and never take care of yourself. You'll give all your energy away and you'll be completely exhausted. And we don't want that. But yeah, guys, if you want to donate, that's below my YouTube video. And I'm gonna keep pulling in these downloads. And actually, look at this, guys. I just write. I'll start thinking, and then I'll just start writing, and then I share it with you guys after I enjoy receiving it, because it's always like a treat for me too. But yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome day.